I'm Shelby Sim, and this is the Ynez Valley. 6 beautiful communities with a million things to offer. Delicious food, world-class wine, and more fun than you can imagine. But at its heart is a community of great people with stories to share. Join me and let's discover the Ynez Valley. People ask me all the time, what do you love about the Ynez Valley? For me, it's simple. When you're here, you feel like you're at home. In fact, where we're heading first today is a new winery in Los Alamos that started in the owner's backyard. How cool is that? We're in Los Alamos with Jason "Zeke" Mergenoff of Rocket Red Wines. First, where did Zeke come from? I know you as Jason. Yep. I've known you for a couple of years. We performed together with the Los Alamos Theater Group, but I've only heard Zeke recently.
So Zeke is kind of what I went by for 20 plus years in the Air Force, but that nickname actually goes back to when I was in college in ROTC and I had a summer job working at Walt Disney World in Florida. And I ended up somehow with a name tag that said Zeke. I had another buddy that he had a name tag that said Zeke. They were spelled differently, but we both wore them and kind of transitioned from my Disney career to my military career and stuck.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Okay, so now let's get on focus here. We're here to talk about Jason's incredible wine, a newish winemaker, only a few years, and if you talk about garagiste, the wines being made in your garage, you can't get any more authentic than Jason with Rocket Red Wines. Please tell us about the inception and how it all came to be.
So the actual label for Rocket Red Wine came about on the Veterans Day Monday holiday in 2018, which was my first year making commercial harvest for my own company. It's Sunstone in Santa Ynez. But how we got there, we got to really back up to 2012 when I was still active duty in the Air Force. Come here for one final assignment at Vandenberg in 2010. I was thinking about, knew I was going to retire shortly. I needed to do something. I wasn't sure what, but I really loved winemaking. I love drinking wine, growing grapes, that sort of thing, just as a fan of it. And I found out the program at Allen Hancock College. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take an intro class, see if I like it. Took an intro class from Michael Larner, and it was amazing.
Michael Larner of Larner Wines.
Yep. Amazing instructor, my first instructor there. And then I said, well, that's what I'm gonna do. I retired in 2013, went to school full-time using my GI Bill, and got an associate's in enology and another associate's in viticulture. So in 2018, I'm out cold, rainy November day, as it is here in the Central Coast, shoveling grapes, cold and wet. I'm thinking, this is amazing. You know, I've worked so many holidays in the military, Veterans Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and I spent so much time living underground or living in a mountain or living in a tent in the desert. Now I'm doing something that I love, and I've got to find some way to give it back. And that's where the inception of Rocket's Red Wine came through.
What an amazing life story, to go from serving your country to serving wine. Please tell us what variety of wine you make.
So these two that we're going to taste today are both 100% Pinot Noir. 5% of the grapes come from the vineyard directly behind us. I have 65 vines of Pinot Noir right here at our house, so that accounts for about 5% of the fruit. The other 95% come from the Allen Hancock College Vineyard in Santa Maria.
There are only a handful of locations on earth that can grow Pinot Noir grapes. Can you imagine having them in your backyard? And how much wine do you produce?
Produce about 150 to 175 cases a year. Very, very small, micro or even nano winery. So I do everything myself, you know, from designing the labels to making the wine, bottling, yeah.
From the grapes to the label, everything at this winery is carefully handcrafted. I can't wait to taste it. So what are we going to be tasting today?
So we're going to be tasting two of my 2020 Pinot Noirs. The first is a Pet Nat, Tal Natural, sparkling, and the second one is just a still rosé. All right, shall we open it and give it a try?
Please.
All right.
Yeah.
This is my first time making a Pet Nat. It was probably some of the most challenging winemaking I've done.
Yeah.
But it was also some of the most rewarding, and I plan to make it again.
And tell us what Pet Nat is short for.
It's French for Talent Natural. I'm probably not saying that right because I don't speak French.
Cheers, yeah.
That's why we all call it Pet Nat.
Yeah.
While the wine's fermenting in tank, before it's completely done fermenting, there's still a little bit of residual sugar left. You bottle it, and then you put a crown cap, like a bottle cap on it. And then as the remaining yeast in there eats the sugar, it releases CO2, but that CO2 gets trapped in the bottle, and it goes into solution, which is then what makes the wine carbonated.
Huh. Fascinating. And this is like the style for hundreds of years before
Yes.
the more modern style of disgorging and such, right?
Right. And this actually, I did actually disgorge this.
Okay.
So, because it was my first time, it became very, very cloudy, and there was a lot of residual sediment in it, and too much sediment to open the bottle safely. So I actually then took the wine to another facility, put it in a cage, racked it, riddled it, disgorged it, and then we ended up with the crown of the cage on it.
And do you swirl sparkling?
Not really. I just like to
yeah.
get a good taste of
It's
the aroma.
already activated.
Yeah.
Right? Do you ever see people do this? The reason people swirl wine in the glass is to release the aromas. Delicious.
Yes.
So dry.
Thank you. And this was my first experimentation doing a native fermentation. So the wines came in, they cold settled together. So these wines are actually literally the same wines. They were brought in, the same lot of grapes, brought in together, destemmed, pressed, cold settled for 2 days, and then split into 2 separate tanks. What we're drinking now went in, it was chilled it down to about 55, 60 degrees, let it native ferment over about a month period. The other one that we're going to taste next, that went into a separate tank. I used a commercial yeast on it that I've been using for all my rosés. And then that did its fermentation in tank, and then it went to neutral oak and sat in neutral oak over Christmas and New Year for about 4 months, and then was bottled in April of this year.
This is delicious.
Thank you very
Jason,
much.
And I believe
Thank you.
you've been recognized for this as well, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had 89 points from Wine Enthusiast.
The points don't always matter, but 89 for a first-time winemaker is huge.
All right, you'd like to taste the other rosé?
Absolutely.
All right, let's.
So, Jason, while you're opening that, tell us what's next for Rockets Red.
I'm gonna just really focus this year on doing this, making a Pinot Noir rosé and making another Pet Nat, trying to make a little bit more of both. I only made about 20 cases of it. I'd really like to make closer to 45. And then this, I made about 85 cases. I'd like to bump that up to probably about 100, 115. So.
Is there anything better than a cold rosé on a warm day? I think not. A little more fruity than the sparkling, a lot more flavor, but still a real clean finish. Not sweet, getting the best of the flavors, and it's a rosé, so you can drink a lot of it. You also do more on the lower alcohol side,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, my goal is 12.5%.
This is such a great experience, listening to Jason's passion for wine, sipping this delicious rosé, and relaxing next to his micro vineyard. He even has chickens. Tell us how we can find out more about Rockets Red and get this in our houses,
So,
our cellars.
My website is rocketsredwines.com. You can find all my information there. You can contact me directly.
rocketsredwine.com.
Yep.
And social?
Yes, I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Rockets Red Wines, at Rockets Red Wines for both.
We're going to enjoy a little bit more wine, and we'll see you again soon. I'm excited for where we're heading next. This place is legendary for its hospitality, and today my family is going to be joining me. Not only is the Alisal a fully working ranch and resort, but if you saw last season, you know they also have 2 world-class golf courses. Alisal Guest Ranch and Resort. If you watched the first season, you saw we were here, we checked out the rooms, we looked at the food. Tonight, we get to do something really special. We're gonna do a rodeo and we're gonna do a barbecue. And I'm here with Megan, the head wrangler here at Alisal Guest Ranch and Resort. Megan, what does it mean to be the head wrangler?
Well, Shelby, it really means that I get to live out every little girl's dream. I get to work on this beautiful ranch. This is my office. I get to oversee the well-being of our horses and our staff and try to keep our programming as interesting as we can and stay true to our traditions as well.
How long have you been here with the Alisal?
I've been with the Alisal for 8.5 years. I started as a one summer job and never left.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. And
Thank
again,
you.
thank you for having us out today. What are we going to experience tonight? Tell us about the rodeo.
So at the rodeo, which we have getting ready for behind us, we're going to have a lot of different events. It'll be a mix of exhibition events from our staff as well as some guest participation events, and we're here to get some people involved that might not have necessarily ever stepped inside an arena before, as well as show you what we love to do.
Fantastic. We're really excited about it. And then so after the rodeo, we go to a barbecue. Tell us about that.
Yes, we do. So at the barbecue, there will be a mix of live music. There'll be some extra entertainment as well. There'll be some dancing, some great food, some great dessert, and just a good time.
All right. You were telling me earlier when we were chatting that you have the oldest brand registered in California?
We have the oldest registered and continuously used brand.
Got it.
So there are some brands older, but we do have...
Yours is still active.
It's still active, has been active since the mid 1800s.
Just a 3-minute drive south of our Danish capital of America, Solvang. Who comes out to the rodeo?
So the rodeo is primarily put on for the guests of the ranch who are staying here with their families. We are also open to our Signature Club members who can make a reservation, come for dinner, and enjoy the entertainment.
Please tell us a few of the specific events we're going to see at the rodeo.
So we will always open up with a drill team event, which is actually the first chance to see a mix of wranglers and guests riding together. It is not a competition, but it's really showing you what they practiced the day before in their lesson. There'll be a pattern, a presentation of the flags, the national anthem. Moving right into our wrangler only team roping event, where we show you one of the events that we love to do the most. One person catches the head, turns the steer, the other person tries to catch the feet, and quickest time wins. We move right into some stick horse racing for our little
What's stick
guests.
horse racing?
We do a relay race with the children in the audience, and they actually have to ride a stick horse. So basically a little horse head on a broomstick, and they run down around a cone and have to hand it off to their next teammate. If they're not riding their horse, they have to go back and do it again.
So it's a relay race.
It is.
With like a broom horse.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay, and they hand off and they go. How fun. Very exciting.
And so we move into that. Some barrel racing, which is another traditional rodeo event. Primarily wranglers and some guests of ours who come out and help us put on this show. And we wrap everything up with an event called team penning, and that is actually a guest competition where they're competing for a great buckle at the end of the season. It's still a timed event. It'll be walk trot. They have to sort out 3 cows from the herd, bring them down, and with their teammates move them into the pen and raise their hand to stop the clock.
How fun.
So it's a great time.
Terrific. Thank you. Good luck with everything. I'm sure that we're all in good hands with you, and we'll see you at the barbecue.
Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Megan. This sounds like so much fun. My family just got here, and it looks like the rodeo's about to begin. Whoa, did you see that? Yeehaw! Watching the rodeo makes you feel like you're in another place in time. It's like stepping back in history and witnessing the traditions of the Old West. This is a great experience for families. The kids even got to take part in the fun. Just watching this makes me hungry, and something smells amazing. And I think I have an idea who's behind the grill.
Anthony.
Yes.
Great to see you again, man.
Shelby, always great to see you.
Thank you for having us out again. We spoke with Anthony in the first season about the River Grill, one of the most amazing spots and views in the Santa Ynez Valley to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But now we're at a barbecue after the rodeo. Anthony, what's on tap for tonight?
It's our Vaquero barbecue. We have oak grilled tri-tip. We have smoked beef ribs, grilled marinated shrimp, pork chile verde. We just have a whole plethora of stuff that's delicious.
Like every night at the Alisal Guest Ranch and Resort. Anthony, you've been here now 2-3 years?
4.
4 years?
Yeah.
Time goes so fast.
It goes quickly.
Golly, well, we're looking forward to growing old with you here at the Alisal Grill. How often do you do this?
We do the rodeo barbecue twice a week. We do our lake barbecue twice a week, and we do a grand barbecue twice a week. You can find us out by the fire grilling things 6 times a week, 6 nights a week. Yeah.
And there's several food venues on the resort. How many are there?
There's 4.
There's 4. So you have the River Grill, you've got the Ranch.
We have the Ranch Grill. We have the Chuck Wagon Grill by the pool for lunch for our guests here at the resort. Then we have the Ranch Room and Sycamore Dining Rooms. That's where our dinners take place, as well as all of our barbecue venues. So the lake and the rodeo, the adobe. I mean, there's spots all over this ranch that you just find yourself eating food and you don't know.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us again how many acres.
It's 10,500.
10,500, and we learned earlier from Megan, the head wrangler, that it's been going since the late 40s.
This week is our 75th anniversary.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
that is great.
Happy to have you here.
Looking forward to trying a lot of this food. Thank you for having us again, Anthony.
Awesome.
Cheers, man.
Look at all this food. This is a feast fit for a cowboy or a cowgirl. This is the kind of experience that only happens in a place as special as the Santa Ynez Valley. You can see it on people's faces. Families getting portraits drawn, kids enjoying cotton candy and shaved ice, including my daughter Bella. She's going to be on a sugar rush tonight. And just when you think you can't have any more fun, the band starts up and you're dancing. These are the kind of memories that stay with you for a lifetime. having your family together, seeing their smiling faces. This was a great experience. We've had a wonderful time out at Alisal at the rodeo as well as the barbecue. We hope that you'll check them out at alisal.com, and we'll see you in the next adventure. The Alisal isn't the only place you'll find rustic fun. Over in Santa Ynez is a real Old West saloon with an amazing history. Let's grab a drink and check it out. We're here at the Maverick Saloon in the Santa Ynez Valley, particularly in the township of Santa Ynez. This is the place where people can let their hair down, where they can kick their heels high, listen to great music, and probably take a couple shots. Sam, thanks for having us out.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure.
Please tell us a little bit about the Maverick Saloon.
Well, the Maverick Saloon, it has been around since, I believe, the 1960s. Definitely changed hands a few times, but they've kind of stayed in the same realm of existence as they started. Before, the Maverick Saloon only took up this half of the building. This was a dance hall. Later on, they merged the two, and that's the Maverick Saloon that we have today.
Fantastic. And back in the day, it literally was just a saloon.
Yes.
The horses would come up and tie up, right? And many late fun nights here. This is where the bachelorettes end up after their long day of wine tasting and such. And please go.
Absolutely.
The type of people that come to the Maverick.
Well, the type of people definitely has diversified. We have people from everywhere. I mean, not only all over the world, but particularly from all over our state. The only reason we stopped allowing horses in here is because our liability insurance told us we couldn't.
There you go, the way of the diving board.
Right.
The same thing, same way as horses. Literally, this is the funnest, coolest place in the Santa Ynez Valley to come and just relax and have a great time. And it's all types. Maybe it was like certain types back in the day, but now everyone's welcome. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
So you say there's a saloon next door.
Right.
And this is a dance hall and or a music venue?
Yes, absolutely. We do live music all weekend, every weekend. Headliners that come through, as well as comedy shows, and you know, they perform up on the stage. It's a pretty good draw. We have big crowds that come in.
All right, let's cheers some of these local beers we're drinking from Figueroa Mountain Brewery. There's food now here at Maverick.
Yes, sir. We have a full menu, same type of specials and promotions that you'd expect from any other restaurant with our own flair. We have things like our fried chicken Mondays are super hit. Tomahawk Tuesdays.
Tomahawk Tuesdays.
Yeah, today, Tomahawk Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tomahawk for $2 for $60.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
No.
Anywhere in the valley especially.
Right. So later in this season, we'll learn about Sears Steakhouse as well as their farm, which is less than 2.5 miles from the restaurant. The same proprietor has Maverick, and so the food here is just as quality as, and the farm is probably less than a mile from here.
It is less than a mile, so all of the vegetables that we serve, that we grow, you know, those all come here. Obviously, there will be some things out of season that we will buy from vendors, but most of the stuff that is on our menu, we get from our farm.
What is your favorite thing about the Maverick Saloon?
My favorite thing is definitely just the atmosphere. Everybody that comes in here, it'll be, you know, empty 1 minute, and then, you know, that nighttime rolls around and it turns into a sardine can, and it's just a lot of fun. I didn't get to experience a lot of the old Maverick Saloon, but I like the direction that the new Maverick Saloon is going.
You have an incredible ceiling next door in the saloon.
Right.
Tell us about that ceiling.
Yeah, so back when Maverick Saloon started, they used to have private events here, and in order to come to the private events, you would have to receive one of the dollar bills with the information for the event to gain entry.
Okay. So it was like an invitation.
Exactly.
Handwritten.
Right.
Yeah.
And people from then on, once they stopped doing that, people just kind of started writing their own little fun notes or words of encouragement or phone numbers, and then just putting them up on the ceilings and on the walls, and it's finally starting to trickle into this room, which is fun.
That is so cool. And one of the cool things to come out here, again, we talk about the authenticity of the Santa Ynez Valley. None of this stuff is pretend. None of this stuff is facade. It's real life. In fact, we're talking about the dollar bills on the ceiling. Our production coordinator, Danielle Loudon-Ruse, she had her wedding just up the street. And that night for the reception, she hung a dollar bill on the ceiling. So I don't think it has to do with the invitations anymore, but kind of a rite of passage.
Absolutely.
Right? So that people will get on shoulders or whatever to hang that. The Maverick is dripping with history. You can just feel it. What else should we know about the Maverick Saloon that we haven't talked about?
Well, if you'll notice, we have all of the brands for the local ranchers. You'll find those all over the building. You'll find them on the bottom of the stage. You'll find them all along the upper bar area.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people, some have passed, but a lot of them or their family members still come here. Sometimes they'll come just to, you know, be like, oh, this was my grandfather's brand.
I can only imagine the pride these people must feel when they come in and see their family history on display here. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So it just brings me back to today's charities when they build ball fields or different things. You can buy a brick and put your name on it. But this is back in the day, right? This is back when it was just ranchers and brands was how you were identified.
Exactly.
Sam, how can we learn more about the Maverick Saloon?
You can always take a look at our website, mavericksaloon.com. We have the history of the building as well as, you know, any other little tidbits of information that you'd like on there.
That's great. I imagine you're on Instagram probably.
Yes,
and
sir.
Facebook.
Yep, all of them.
Yeah.
All the
Sam,
social medias.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
My pleasure.
Very special place in the Santa Ynez Valley. Before I left, Sam invited me to put $1 up on the ceiling. It's an honor to add my name to the story of the Maverick Saloon. And to show my thanks, there's a bell over the bar. If you ring it, the whole bar gets around on you. I have to. Cheers. Like I said when we started, the Santa Ynez Valley just feels like home. It has passion, it has history, it has family. What more could you ask for? To see past episodes, please check out our YouTube channel and Amazon Prime.